Hello, today is Thursday, October 15th, 2015. I'm doing a video about sobriety. Sobriety can be achieved, as many people know. One of the main things you have to keep in mind with sobriety is that those aiding you don't have to have lived your life. No one lives the same life. So one of the things you can get out of your head is, oh, that person doesn't know. People like myself, I've had dark days. Very dark days. I'm living through dark days right now. And I choose the Lord and the Bible. As you all know, some may know, not everyone knows. One of the things that if you have this person in your life, what they do is they create mechanisms of aid that are negative. That is where the alcohol and the drugs come in. It's proliferated in society almost as a rite of passage. And it's not to be done. It can set up one for a generational curse in your own family. So as a minister, I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't start that. Life is bad enough. Whatever you're going through, it's bad enough. Even physical pain. I know that. I went through a time before they stabilized, gave me my correct bipolar meds. I drank vodka to go to sleep. I didn't drink it to be alcoholic. I have a high tolerance, and my mind went very, very fast, and it took that much. I would drink not that much, maybe a quarter of a glass full, 1/4 of it to go to sleep. It was just to go to sleep, and I woke back up in time for work. Okay? That was until my medication came into play, because I did not know I was bipolar. I've always had such a creative outlet. My mind always goes rapidly. I always have a lot of thoughts. I'm a writer. I'm just a creative person. I'm a singer. I'm a composer. But it became so much because the dreams and the travels the Father was sending me. And He put it on my heart. Tree, that's a problem. This is your path now to go here. The alcohol was never the problem. I could take it or leave it, and I still can. But for those who have a problem, that is how sometimes it starts. You feel yourself wanting something, and that's a bad habit. The closest I ever came was when I was taking a pharmaceutical I was given for, I have a condition, female condition, and I was taking that medication, and I felt that I wanted one. It was like a high dosage of ibuprofen, something really big, and I wanted to reach for it. Different consciousness too at the time. Not of addiction, but okay, I want something, go get it. Without the thought processes, rebuke it. I did have them, because the thought process when I wanted it before it was time for me to take it, I threw it in the trash. I was that paranoid. I don't like taking medicines unless I have to. I've always been that way. Why? Because I believe in natural healing. So just the fact that it was before time, it may have been a little extreme, but I threw it in the trash. I threw it all in the trash can. And thankfully for me, blessedly, the pain dissipated. It was so bad I passed out in my home, in my apartment at the time. That's how much pain I was in. That's how I wound up in the emergency room, and I had to get the medicine to dull the pain. So, those of you out there, if you feel yourself that way and you have those pharmaceuticals, talk to your doctor about getting less of it or changing to one that does not have codeine in it. The one I was taking had codeine in it. My preference now, that when I go to the doctor, if I ever do, I would always ask, and I have always asked for things that don't have codeine in them. And they're just as powerful as far as taking away pain as the ones with codeine. But the ones with codeine sometimes can make you desire it. You're not an addict until you follow through. There's a thought process there of whether yay or nay to take it. Don't walk into addiction. I'm always cognizant of my thoughts. I always try to be that person of wisdom. It begins with thinking before doing. That's why I don't have a lot of patience for people who do wrong when it's so obvious you had chances. I'm talking real wrong. I'm not talking crossing the street wrong with a shoe on the wrong side on your feet. You know, That was a style choice and a simple choice. I'm talking major things. I never want to create a victim, definitely not of myself. And so people who are addicted, they create victims of others at times. So let's not victimize our families. Okay? For you out there. Don't victimize your families. So I've never done drugs. Any illicit narcotics. I ain't so much to smoke marijuana. And yes, I believe that is of the Father. Ha ha ha. That anything can be addictive, even sugar and salt. Okay? So if you feel yourself and you smoke marijuana, want it too often, and it's interrupting you because they drug test you and you don't live in a state where it's allowed and they fire you, then you're addicted to it. The laws are getting better about that. We know why it was made illegal. It's one of those laws that's the Father wants to be eradicated. That was done because it threatened the timber industry. You can make paper out of marijuana leaves and a lot of other type of plants, but especially marijuana, as it had been done by certain tribes for a long time. So that's the history behind that in this country. You go to other countries and you hear this loud. It's inherently evil, no. And it's very curative in certain conditions. But if you're an addictive personality, you have to watch yourself and monitor yourself like other people do not. Because you let your thinking get out of control. For some people, it was not something traumatic that happened. They just wanted to party. And their idea of partying was doing that. And they just didn't care. In that moment, they didn't care. There were no negative consequences enough. There weren't negative consequences enough for them to stop or to not start. Some people are hard-headed and they're thick-headed, and they wake up and it's 30 years later. Okay? There are horrible stories out there. Don't become one of them. And listen to those of us who have not been through that type of addiction, but like my story tells you about the pharmaceutical and not reaching for it as though I was jonesing, but I was like, I really want one. But did not need. I was not in pain at that moment. That was the connection that I made, that the Father made for me, that He sent to me. You are wanting, but not needing. Something's wrong there. The formula is off. These chemicals really do change your brain chemistry. Want versus need was confused in my mind, and I was reaching for it. Threw it in the trash can immediately. I was fine. I'd be fine. It was scary. That moment, like, woof. So, once again, request medicine, especially if you are an addict. Request pain medicine that is non-coding. Okay, when they ask you if you've ever been addicted, that's why they will know to prescribe certain things to you. It's a whole list of drugs out there, of pharmaceuticals. So it's a huge list. So help them out. Let them know. Just say no codeine, and they'll understand. So just let them know you're, in recovery. If you're in recovery, okay. And let's say in recovery. Don't associate yourself always with being an addict. If you've been sober for 20 years, you're sober now. You're in recovery. Some people say they're an addict because it keeps them grounded. So they don't get floaty and start thinking they're sober and back at day one. So they'll do the drug again. Like it's day one and they've never done it. But know your life. You come to the Lord, which is the number one step in 12 step. And yes, I've been to a 12 step meeting. I love learning. It was a part of my therapy where I was going to a facility for the bipolar. We were in there with the people who were addicted. We all was met together for healing. And that's one of the steps for also what? For mental recovery. Bipolar is no joke. A lot is happening spiritually to you. And yes, I'm no longer bipolar. I'm going through a saint walk. And yes, I take medicine for schizophrenia. It does aid me in sleeping. My father gets me to sleep every night. But that is one of the paths I had to go on with him. Am I crazy? No. Am I really who I say I am? Yes.